Welcome to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Well, it's go time in Music City. The road to Omaha starts here for the Bucks of East Tennessee State, champions from the SoCon, and the Louisville Cardinals back in the NCAA tournament for the first time in 3 years. Here's a look at the Nashville bracket. The #1 national seed and SEC tournament champion Vanderbilt Commodores face Horizon League champ Wright State at 6 o'clock Eastern on the SEC network. It's double elimination here. The regional champ goes on to the Supers next week. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Music City alongside my partner, Auburn Hall of Famer Greg Olson. I'm Clay Matvick. He's an Omaha native, and starting today, 64 teams in this tournament desire to be in your hometown in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, every team has been preaching since the beginning of fall, hey, we're going to Omaha, this is the road, we start now, and it actually starts today. So there's a lot of excitement. These guys have had about a week or 2 weeks off of classes, so they have been locked in on playing baseball.
East Tennessee State is a team that can really swing it. It's an amazing offense. Back in the tournament for the first time in a dozen years, they are led by Cooper Torres. He has 23 bombs on the season.
Yeah, he's third in D1 baseball, just a legit power hitter. Not going to see it in size, but he's got power to all fields. He's got 20 home runs versus right-handed pitching.
Yeah, so keep an eye on this East Tennessee State offense. Meanwhile, Cooper Torres, well, you said he's not very big, but the SoCon Player of the Year. Meanwhile, Louisville, this is a team that has not been in the tournament the last couple of years. They were a regular for so many years, so it's been kind of weird where they're back in, and this is a team that needs to be feared. They have a lot of impressive wins on their resume.
Yeah, 146 stolen bases on the year, but they got 12 quad one wins, and you can see against Vanderbilt, Texas, they got 2 against North Carolina. But coming into this, they're one of their last 7 games they've lost. They've lost 6 games out of the last 7. Really struggling, giving up over 10 runs a game. They are getting healthy, though. They got their catcher, Matt Klein, back. So looking forward to seeing this lineup together for the first time this year.
Everybody's setting a reset button now, and we're ready to go. Let's get it on. It's a cool, comfortable day in Nashville. ETSU and Louisville start us off. Coming up next. Back here at beautiful Hawkins Field on the campus of Vanderbilt, Nashville's West End, and we're ready to go with East Tennessee State and Louisville. Now the Bucks, 4+ hours away from Nashville, actually have the furthest travel of the 4 teams in this regional. And we talked about the offense for East Tennessee State. It's a long lineup, too. Look at Grant Gallagher, 20 home runs as well on the season. There was a good portion of the year. He was the national leader in home runs, Greg. Yeah,
and all 20 of those have been against right-handed hitters. I talked about Cooper Torres, his 20 home runs versus right-handed pitchers. It's a long, deep lineup. .313 batting average on the season, which is 18th nationally, and we can go into all their national numbers, but really deep lineup.
Patrick Forbes, a junior right-hander out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, is going to get the start for Louisville. A team-high 85 strikeouts, 2-2 on the year with a 4.8 ERA.
Yeah, fastball's going to be 94 to 97 and just electric stuff. And his issue is going to be commanding the zone and throwing strikes.
Yeah, when he's healthy, he has been on as the first pitch is fouled back off the bat of Cody Miller. Forbes battled some forearm tightness mid-April, missed the Clemson and Florida State weekends, but all in all, he has been pretty good in this rotation for the Cards.
Yeah, rock solid, 4.80 ERA.
And Forbes is ahead in the count here, 0-2 to Cody Miller. But Miller out of Rock Point, New York. He's been their catalyst in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, he's got an 11-game hit streak, hitting .330 on the year. 16 bombs, just got picked up his 200th hit in the SoCon tourney.
Breaking ball in there for strike 3. Good start for Patrick Forbes. And there's one down here in the ETSU first inning.
Well, Cody Miller gets locked up. Slider doesn't have a lot of depth or break to it, but enough to lock Miller up. He sees the ball coming on the inside part of the plate. Just gets frozen on that slider.
That'll bring up the right fielder, Blake Jacklin. Veteran outfielder from Canada, swings at the first pitch, and he'll send it into center field. Strong base hit for Jacklin. And the Bucs are in business here in the first inning with one out.
ETSU and the Bucs are not afraid. The funny thing is these guys come up there and they're trying to jump first pitch, trying to get on Forbes early. And that's been the book on him, is if you let him get deeper into counts, he's struggled with his command. And right now, ETSU going against that trend and trying to jump him early.
And look at the numbers on Torres. Has had one of the all-time great seasons in East Tennessee State history, the SoCon Player of the Year. Not only led the league in homers, but RBIs as well. 72 on the year. And now time is called. The home plate umpire, Darren Hyman.
Just giving Forbes a warning, wanted to make sure that Torres was in the box and alert and ready, looking at Forbes, and Forbes had already come set by the time that Torres was just getting turned toward the mound.
Jacklin at first, and the first pitch to Torres is upstairs. So this is the 5th NCAA tournament appearance for the Bucs. Their first since 2013 when they were in the A-Sun. So it's been a little bit. And they have got a team that they feel can go deep. And there's another breaking ball for a strike.
Just had a solid year on the mound and at the plate. This is a very offensive team, and they finally put together the pitching this year.
Jacklin again has to dive back into the bag at first base. The 116 homers as a team, 4th most in the country. And 6 guys with 9 or more homers in this lineup. Forbes sets and throws over to first one more time. Again, there are the numbers for Torres, Gallagher, Miller, who had 16 in the leadoff spot, and Jamie Palmise will come up in the 6th hole. And what a luxury to have a lineup that deep, that long, with that much power. And Joe Panucci, in his 8th year as head coach, has a really easy job drawing up the lineup every day.
Yes, he does.
Foul back. 97 miles an hour from Forbes. And Torres stays alive. There is Joe Panucci, 47 years old, former assistant at Stony Brook. And of course, they made national news in 2012. Seawolves got to the College World Series that year. In on the hands, and a tied up Torres. Second strikeout for Forbes. 2 down here in the first.
A really nice sequence, down and away. Torres fouls it off the other way, and then he rushes up a 97-mile-an-hour fastball running in on the hands. Torres cannot stop his swing.
And now here's the left-handed hitting Tristan Curlis. Big 6'3", 195-pound senior out of Amarillo, Texas. He's at first base today. Transfer from Alabama A&M. Shift is on against Curlis, and he's behind in the count. Well, the one thing about Forbes here today is he's challenging these hitters early in the count.
Yeah, and that's what I talked about. Is he's got to be commanding the zone. This one's a little two-seam fastball diving down and away from Curlis.
It's up and outside. See Forbes a little disappointed with himself. That might have slipped out of his hand. And you see the defensive shift on against Curlis. It's an all-turf field here in Nashville, so it plays fast. Now Jacklin has 15 stolen bags on the year. Miller, the leadoff man, 27. But you know, when we talk about the Louisville roster, that's where you really start talking about stolen bases. 146 as a team coming into the national tournament. Another one upstairs, 2-1.
On Louisville, though, I mean, I think it's more impressive. They've stolen 146, but they've attempted 163. They've only been thrown out 17 times, which is just staggering to me.
2 outs. Jacklin at first here in the ETSU first inning. Backdoor breaking ball lands in their first strike. It's 2-2.
Yeah, that's big league stuff right there. If you're able to land something behind in the count to get back into it, and just a little bit of a sweeper slurve, floats in, starts on the backside, and just ends up catching the middle of the plate. Forbes doing a nice job of keeping Jacklin close. Good quick move from a right-hand pitcher.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Tristan Curlis, who has 24 2-out RBIs this year. Swung on and missed, and Forbes strikes out the side. Gives up the hit to Jacklin. But what a start for the right-hander Patrick Forbes. Strikes out Miller, strikes out Torres, and strikes out Curlis. So the Bucks go quietly in the top of the first. Now Louisville coming up for the first time in this national tournament. Their 14th NCAA tournament, but the first in 3 years. And for head coach Dan McDonald, it's only the second time this season using this particular lineup because of injuries. He's happy to have Matt Klein back from a broken wrist.
Solid lineup. Klein brings a big piece of it offensively and defensively. They're going to run up against Carter Fink, right-handed pitcher. Fastball is going to be 86 to 90. Occasional 2-seam fastball, changeup, slider. Just a strike thrower with a very calm demeanor.
He's been their Friday starter, first team all SoCon. He's going to have to deal with Lucas Moore right out of the gate. One of the fastest guys in the country. Very aggressive leadoff man for the Cards. And maybe the most electric player in this region. And the first pitch from Fink is swung on and lifted to center. The wind is blowing out, but this one is going to be medium deep to left center field. And Moore is retired on 1 pitch.
That's the way you want to start a regional. You want to start a game. First pitch strike, get an easy routine fly out to center field on a very dangerous hitter.
And now here's Klein, and this is good for Cardinals fans to see. Second game back from that broken wrist on his glove hand. Missed a couple of months. Did get 2 at-bats against Pitt in the ACC tournament, but obviously his presence in the lineup, Greg, is huge for Louisville, but he handles the pitching staff so well as a receiver.
Yeah, that's a big aspect that they've really struggled with over their losing streak that they've had recently. His ability to control the running game. There's been a lot of walks. There's been a lot of pass balls, a lot of wild pitches that have factored into those 6 losses.
Here's Dan McDonald. Now his 19th year with the Cards. 14th NCAA tournament as the Cards head coach. And he's made 5 College World Series appearances. That's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the 2-hole hitter Matt Klein. Product of Trinity High School right there in Louisville. 1 out, the 2-2 from Fink. Swung on, got him on the changeup. 81 miles an hour. And Klein was out in front of it, 2 down.
Yeah, I've been curious to see. Klein only got 2 at-bats after coming out that broken forearm, so he's probably just working his way back in. But this changeup beats anybody. I mean, that's just filthy.
And there has to be some rust for Klein, no doubt.
Yeah.
And he's working his way back.
Yeah, but I mean, nice sequence. Just a nasty changeup to end the at-bat.
So 2 outs for Jake Monroe, the Louisville third baseman. junior from Champaign, Illinois. 340, 9 homers, and 52 runs batted in. And strike in the outside corner. Monroe was a JUCO All-American. And Johnny Logan last year, he has made an immediate impact on this lineup. Ground ball to short. That's where Cody Miller will be playing this weekend. Throws across the diamond, and it's a 1-2-3, 9-pitch inning for Carter Fink. So we have played one in Nashville, no score. East Tennessee State, the Bucks, 41 wins this year, second best season in team history. They swept the SoCon tournament with a win over Western Carolina and 2 over Samford. They scored, as they typically do, a ton of runs in that 3-game tournament, 37 in all. And only the 1981 NCAA tournament team had more wins. They had 44 that year. Just a fantastic season for the Bucks under Joe Panucci.
Yeah, and he's got him going. He is excited about this team, and they are relaxed and ready. They have scheduled a difficult schedule, traveled on the road, and they're not afraid of the moment.
Grant Gallagher, Jamie Palmise, and Axel Melendez, 5, 6, and 7 for the Bucks here in the second inning. They got 1 hit in the first against Patrick Forbes, but otherwise Forbes struck out the side. And you see the numbers for Gallagher, absolutely fantastic. 20 homers and 49 runs batted in, second team all SoCon.
See the patience he's got. Takes strike 1, nasty slider right there for strike 2, but he is third nationally in walks with 64.
The 0-2. A little high, a little outside. Again, the winner gets Vanderbilt or Wright State tomorrow. The loser will face elimination tomorrow. Forbes needed just 14 pitches to get through the first inning. Man, he's got that breaking ball, Greg, working so well here early.
Yeah, just a lot different. First one was a little bit more of a cutter on the slide piece, but this one's just a big sweeping, almost a slurve. Just a great sequence right here. Fastball down, little cutter. Shows good fastball, and then little cut fastball breaks, catches the inside part of the plate.
4 strikeouts for Forbes as Jamie Palmise comes up. Sophomore out of Berlin, Connecticut. First team all conference, and has started every game in center field for the Bucks. Swung on and missed. Another off-speed pitch. Four strikeouts in the first 5 hitters faced for Forbes.
Tell me what you want to hear.
89 Ks on the year now, and now it's 2-2.
We talked about it. The issue for Forbes has been just the ability to command the zone. And right now, that man, Roger Williams, has got to be really excited because Forbes is just pounding fastballs, little cutters, landing sliders. Everything is going well for Forbes.
Palmise lays off, and it's a full count. First full count for Forbes. As the Bucks are just trying to get some pressure on Forbes here. He had to deal with Jacklin in the first inning after a base hit, but otherwise it's been pretty clean sailing here for Forbes. Now a walk. That was a big miss. So the first free pass allowed by Patrick Forbes, and a 1-out base runner here in the second for the Bucks.
Feels like Forbes just tried to amp up a little bit on those last couple of fastballs that just missed. That one front shoulder flew out, and it was not a competitive pitch. Palmise easily able to take that one.
Now here comes Axel Melendez. freshman left fielder from Puerto Rico. Freshman of the year in the SoCon. Swung out and missed. East Tennessee State, first team in SoCon history to sweep the major awards. Player of the year, pitcher of the year, freshman of the year, and Joe Panucci also the coach of the year in the SoCon. We had a chance to talk with him at length yesterday. Very easygoing.
Yeah, he is very fun to talk to. We ended up talking another 30 minutes or so just on the life of baseball and everything else. And finally, at some point, he just looks at me and goes, "I got to let you go."
Could have talked all day.
I asked him before the game if anything special, team dinner, you know, did they do anything different? And he goes, "No, man." He goes, "I told these guys at the beginning of the year," he goes, "I don't have any special sauce. I'm not going to sprinkle anything special on top of you to make you do well. It's just going to be the same old thing. I'm the same old guy. I got no great motivational speeches. I'm just going to let these guys go play baseball."
Stick with what's working. Nothing in 2 to Melendez. Paul Meese at first after drawing a walk. Hit hard to center. Lucas Moore, terrific defensive center fielder, makes a few steps to his left to catch that line drive for out number 2.
Melendez has been a tough out all season. Finally gets a fastball down in the zone that he can handle. Nice two-seam action down outer half.
Henry Ferguson is in the 8 hole and playing second base. He's a native of Knoxville. True freshman. And he's a guy who hasn't been starting at second base very long.
Actually moved to second base. Moved Torres to the DH spot on May 17th. So quick move, and it's worked out for ETSU.
Pitch is spiked by Forbes, comes caroming off the back wall. And Paul Meese is now in scoring position. Matt Klein looked for that ball, and before he knew it, it was back over his shoulder going toward the mound.
Yeah, that's what you get. Different environment. Louisville has played here. They won here on May 6th. But it's just a difficult environment for a catcher to catch balls on AstroTurf. That ball just skidded right through the 5-hole of Klein.
1-0, swung out and missed. Henry Ferguson, a product of Hardin Valley Academy in Knoxville. Chance to drive in the first run of the ball game. There's a strike, and it's 1-2.
Oh, nice bounce back by Forbes. He's had a couple pitches that haven't been competitive, but then all of a sudden he locks back in. Paints the outside corner with a 4-seam fastball.
Four strikeouts so far for Patrick Forbes. Got out to just a great start this season. Was the opening day starter against Texas. Struck out 11 Longhorns, won 2 of his first 4 starts. Breaking ball again, and Klein has to chase. And now Paul Meese is at third base. It's a full count on Ferguson.
Yeah, this one should go down as a pass ball. See, it clips off the top of the glove of Klein. Forbes, man, he is either in the zone or he is way out of the zone. Tough play for Klein, but should go down as a pass ball.
Swung out and missed, and Forbes is able to get Louisville off the field. 6 strikeouts in the first 2 innings, and Paul Meese is stranded at third.
Patrick Forbes, electric stuff up in the zone, gets the big punch out.
Scoreless game. Louisville coming up here in the bottom of the second. Eddie King Jr. ready to lead it off. Now this regional matches up with Hattiesburg for next week's Super Regional round. The number 16 national seed Southern Miss Golden Eagles are hosting Alabama's the 2 seed Miami. They were hot for a good portion of the middle part of the season out of the ACC. They are there, and so are the Columbia Lions. Interesting regional.
It's really an interesting regional. Big name. Alabama thought they should have got a hosting bid. They did not. Go to Southern Miss, get a tough draw with Miami in game 1.
This is Eddie King Jr. Heads into the national tournament on a tear. 8 for 14 over the last 4 games with 4 homers and 9 runs batted in. Louisville still looking for its first hit. Inside out swing, soft liner, and Tristan Curtis backhands it. That was in on the hands on King. I think he was just trying to foul it off, fighting it away from his body. And it ends up in Curtis's glove for the first out.
Fink is doing a great job of changing speeds, moving around. You can see where King is in the batter's box. He is way up. He is not appreciating the fact that Fink can run it up there at 90-91. So halfway up in the box, and he gets one right in on the hands.
Good off speed to Garrett Pike for strike 1. Pike is the right fielder. Transfer from Toledo. Was her 3rd team All-American last year for the Rockets. And he has been one of the regulars in the outfield for the Cardinals this year. Carter Fink has been solid here to start against a really good Louisville lineup. He's retired the first 4 he has faced. Fink has improved a lot from his junior year. His ERA is down by a full run from last season and has been steady Eddie at the front of this rotation. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Second strikeout for Fink, 2 down.
We talk about Fink and you ask questions because the velo is not quite what you look around the college ranks, but nasty sinker down and away, change up, shows another fastball up, and then runs a change up starting front door.
Everything had movement.
Yeah, everything's got a lot of arm side run, but just
now ground ball. Miller comes over and throws out Zion Rose. He's out on 1 pitch. Good inning for Fink.
Fink has been dealing, gets an easy first pitch out right there.
Louisville starter Patrick Forbes has had a base runner each inning, but he has been good. No runs allowed. He is one of Kylie McDaniel's top draft prospects from the ACC. You can see Jamie Arnold, terrific pitcher from Florida State. The lefty is the #1 prospect out of the conference. But there's Forbes at number 43.
Oh, you gotta love the stuff. The body type is there. 6'2", 6'3". There's a lot to like. It's electric stuff, and it's only going to get better as he pitches. He has not pitched a lot. Came in as a 2-way player.
He's facing J.D. Yakubinis, Cody Miller, and Blake Jacklin here in the 3rd inning. 9-1-2. Yakubinis rips it foul. Past Chad Marshall, the 3rd base coach. J.D. Yakubinis, out of Charlotte, North Carolina, redshirt senior, went 5 for 13 with a homer and 6 runs batted in at the SoCon tournament. And that big 2-run homer against Samford in the title game. And gets hit here. So another free pass allowed by Forbes. The walk in the 2nd, and now a hit by pitch to start the 3rd. This is what you talked about, Greg.
Yeah, he's 2nd on the team, and hit by pitches willingly takes that slider that got left arm side. And it's just been the traffic that's created, puts a little bit of pressure on as we roll to the top of the lineup.
You mentioned the command for Forbes. That's been his biggest Achilles heel. And now back to the top of the ETSU lineup. Miller struck out looking against Forbes in the first. He's 0 for 1. Up and in. Did he go? Yes, he did. Forbes has not won a ball game since March the 7th. A lot of no decisions since then. This one is hit hard, high and deep, right center field, carrying, and goodbye home run. Cody Miller, his 17th of the year, a 2-run shot here in the third inning, and it's 2-0 Bucks. 400 feet to right center field for Miller.
Cody Miller's 17th home run on the year. And this is a little bit of what we were talking about with the scatter shot with Forbes. That first one was perfect. He runs the fastball up and in, gets a half-check swing. This one is right down Broadway. Cody Miller just buries it to right center. And the Bucks are on the board first.
Again, so much power all throughout this lineup. The leadoff hitter with his 17th bomb. And now ETSU is playing from in front.
Yeah, you know, we talked to a lot of coaches and going, hey, you know what, adding this guy lengthens our lineup. Well, for me, the guys that you run into in the major leagues, it's 1 through 9, and it's a lot of focus, it's a lot of concentration. You don't get pitches off. And now we're seeing the depth of ETSU and the length of their lineup. Well, it stresses out the pitchers, it stresses out the defense, it stresses out the pitch calling, just 1 through 9.
Jacklin had a single in the first inning and was stranded. He is in his second season with the Bucks, transfer from Yavapai in Arizona, and has been a consistent 2-hole hitter in this lineup. And he draws a walk as all of a sudden Patrick Forbes has lost control here in the third inning.
This has been the issue over their losing streak, has been the free passes, the hit by pitches, the wild pitches. I talked about Forbes, just not a whole lot of experience on the mound. He's got 38 innings in college baseball. So he's just kind of still learning on the job, and Roger Williams right now is going to come out, settle him in. You don't want to get the bullpen started this early.
Well, Patrick Forbes, it hasn't been all bad. I mean, he has 5 strikeouts through the first 2 innings, but here in the third, a hit by pitch, a 2-run homer, and a walk.
Yeah, just got away from him a little bit, man. The stuff was really good. It's electric, but when he misses, they are big misses. And so a lot of that's telling me it's just probably an intensity. It's an effort level where he's trying to do too much. And his stuff is so good. And I'm sure Roger Williams just went out and said that, hey, man, you got really great stuff today. Let's lock it back in, make some good pitches.
Forbes walked 7 in just 3 innings at NC State last month. That's when that forearm tightness started to flare up, and it cost him a couple of starts. He is back to 100% health. And we have seen the best version of Forbes at times already in this game. But East Tennessee State has him feeling uncomfortable now here in the third as Torres comes up. Arguably the most dangerous hitter in this regional. Breaking ball outside. And Klein has been kept busy here in the first few innings, blocking balls up.
Yeah, got a wild pitch, got a pass ball. That one was a really nice job of getting out there and keeping that slider in front. You can see right before that he gave a look to Forbes and pointed to his eyes. It's just like, hey, stay focused and lock in on me right here. Let's get back to work. And that's what you get out of a veteran catcher, is somebody just knowing their guy. He gave a look to Forbes, pointed at his eyes, and that's just basically saying, hey, lock in on me. Let's go.
2-0 ETSU. This one's lifted foul. It's going to get on a play. You know, we talked about Louisville having impressive wins at the top of the broadcast. These Buccaneers have had some really impressive wins too. They won a series against Pitt out of the ACC. They were the team that handed Tennessee its first loss of the year back on March the 18th in Knoxville in 10 innings. And now, you know, leading the 2 seed here in the regional early. Swung on and missed, and there's Forbes coming right back with a big strikeout of Torres for the first out.
Yeah, that was a nice job. Nice sequencing, good hard fastballs, and then he starts this breaking ball down bottom of the zone, diving out. And Torres 0 for 2 already with 2 strikeouts. But no, ETSU, they scheduled a tough road.
Yes, they did.
They did it for a purpose, and that's what we've heard from all these coaches here is the scheduling is really important when it comes to getting into this tournament and who you see. And we heard it from all 4 of those guys saying the exact same thing. Scheduling matters, and ETSU went about going, we got some hard road trips. We wanted to get that under our feet before we got into SoCon, and it's paid off.
Shift is on here again for Curlis as he's quickly behind in the count. Yeah, the Bucs won the SoCon regular season outright for the first time since 1980. Two-run homer by Miller here in the inning. They're swinging a miss, 95 miles an hour upstairs. Curlis can't handle it. It's 0-2.
Yeah, now we're seeing Forbes locking back in. Just took a little bit of a motivational speech from his pitching coach. But let's see if he can finish this inning, get out of here with only 2 runs.
Struck him out. Back-to-back Ks of Torres and Curlis, the 3 and 4 hitters in the order.
Curlis is showing he cannot lay off a high fastball. And the old adage for pitchers is, all right, you swung at that fastball up out of the zone. Here comes one a little bit higher. It's the second time Curlis has punched out on fastballs up out of the zone.
And now the umpires call time. Plate umpire Darren Hyman going over to Donnie Smith to talk about something. Don Goller's at second base. Mike Victor, the first base umpire. And I'm trying to figure out what the wind is doing here at Hawkins Field. It seems to be swirling because it was blowing out for a while, and now I see the flags kind of blowing from left to right. Laying limp once in a while. It's a really nice, comfortable day in Nashville, I'll tell you that much.
It is absolutely perfect. We got here this morning at about 10 a.m. and the wind was blowing out dead to left. Now it's swirling all over the place.
First pitch is down and away to Gallagher, who struck out looking against Forbes. One of the 7 strikeout victims for Patrick Forbes. Calling a strike. Gallagher, 20 homers, and for the first half of the season was leading the country in that category. He has cooled off last month or so. A chance to add to the inning. 2 runs already in. And now 1-2. Another off-speed strike that lands for Forbes.
Yeah, it's not a very big breaking ball. It's almost a cutter, but it's 6, 7, 8 miles an hour difference. So the hitter gets that foot down on time for 97, and the ball's just not even close. It's almost like a changeup with just a little bit of action.
Closer play at first base that time, but back was Jacklin. Two-run homer by Cody Miller here in the 3rd inning for the Bucs. 1-2. Checked his swing. Did he go? No. First base umpire Mike Victor says no on the appeal.
Here it is again. No, he did not. Nice job of laying off a fastball up out of the zone.
You know, considering how this inning started, if Forbes can keep it right here, I think Louisville would be happy with that. Checked his swing again, and again he did not go. Full count.
Mike Victor at first base getting tested early. Klein came right up looking after that slider missed. All right, big pitch right here. You tried to get a punch out on 2 pitches outside the zone. You got to come back and attack to a very dangerous hitter.
Infield playing to pull. Here's the 3-2, and it's up and outside. Walked him. Second walk of the inning. Third freebie. Counting the Yakubinis hit by pitch.
That's the second time that he's walked a hitter on a 3-2 pitch. It's not even competitive. It's not close. And it just shows me that, you know, that heartbeat gets up a little bit. Okay, hey, you recognize when you're on the mound, this is a big pitch. And then if you try to amp up rather than just making a good, well-located pitch and you try to amp up on it, that's the result. Something scatter shot, way up, way out.
Jamie Paul Meese at the plate. Made the SoCon all-freshman team last year, followed it up with a great sophomore season this campaign. Walked his first time up. Got to really credit ETSU too here. They've had a discerning eye once they saw that Forbes was starting to scatter some pitches and spray it around. They've been more patient. This one is jumped on, hit high. Medium deep right field in the corner. That's Garrett Pike, and he's got it for the third out. So East Tennessee State will strand a couple, but they get a couple on their 17th home run of the year for Cody Miller. And it's 2-0 here in Nashville. Well, Carter Fink is pitching with the lead now as he takes the mound here in the third inning. Couple of innings, no hits, couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, this kid is pitchability 101. You just love to watch. Fastball's down in the zone, changes speed. There's an off-speed breaking ball that he just showed and got a big swing and miss. But a lot of great change-ups, moves it in and out, changes speeds, and just keeping this Louisville team off balance.
Facing Tate Davis to start the inning for Louisville, the first baseman. Had a great first year in college baseball. Named to the ACC all-freshman team, 283, 18 homers, and 50 runs batted in. This one is lined right into the glove of Curlis. Second time he has fielded a line drive. And so Davis is quickly out here to start the third.
Davis comes into the great freshman year. This sinker gets running down and in. He drops ahead of the bat. Nice defensive positioning by the Bucks. Curl is standing right on the line.
One out from Neighbors. Kamayu Neighbors, the senior out of Carson, California. Wants to bunt, and he pushes it foul. Switch-hitting infielder who hit .305 at Cal State Northridge last year. .254, no homers, 15 runs batted in for their second baseman.
Yeah, last year he was 4th in the nation, hardest to strike out. He tries to lay down a bunt, get something going for this Louisville offense.
And now he's behind 0-2. Carter Fink needed 9 pitches to get through the first, just 8 in the second.
This is about how you draw up a game plan, and you just hope you get a tough matchup with Louisville and you throw this guy out on the mound and he is on his game.
Two strikes to Neighbors, flicks it foul, and it's almost playable for the third baseman Gallagher. I think the wind wreaked havoc on him. And so Neighbors is going to get another chance here. I think Gallagher thought it was getting into the stands.
Yeah, he's got to navigate the dugout, getting no help from the Louisville dugout, getting out of the way. That wind is wreaking havoc right now. It is now blowing out to left center.
It's outside, 2-2.
For me as a pitcher, though, if my guy dropped the pop-up, I'm going out. So I got 2 strikes. I'm looking for a punch-out now.
Line drive, and that's going to be a base hit for Neighbors. First hit of the game for the Cardinals. Now maybe that will start something for Louisville.
Just a good piece of hit, and he fouled off a fastball down and away. This breaking ball left spinning out over the plate. Neighbors turns and spins it to right field. See if that dropped pop-up in foul territory comes back to haunt ETSU.
And this is where Louisville is at its most dangerous. Running the bases, 11 steals for Neighbors, as Alicea tries to advance him. Alex Alicea in the 9-hole, the shortstop out of Milwaukee. He's a switch hitter too. And he is playing through a thumb injury on his glove hand. He's fine for the field, but it does affect him at the plate. He's actually more comfortable here from the left-hand side than the right-hand side.
You saw that big old brace taped up. Dealing with it, got it sliding in head first about a month ago. So bothers him more as a right-handed hitter, obviously switch hitter. From the left side doesn't bother him as much.
Swinging away this time and misses. 0-2. So now, even though he's your best bunter at the plate, he has 6 sacrifices on the year, a team high. It's 0-2, and now what do you do?
Now you got to swing away. You might see if Neighbors get started here, assuming you're going to get an 0-2 breaking ball, something down. And I assumed incorrectly all the way around right there, Clay. Fink went with a fastball. Neighbors did not run.
No balls, 2 strikes on Alicea. Diving back into first as Neighbors. You know, keep in mind, Neighbors got that base hit after that foul pop-up was mishandled by Grant Gallagher. It was a tough play, but
yes,
it should have been an out. Would have been the second out of the inning. Double play depth here for the Bucks, and another throw to first. Alicea sat out the ACC tournament game, so he's well rested, but again, dealing with that thumb injury. Again, the 0-2. And now 1-2 with Lucas Moore and the top of the Louisville order on deck. There's Moore. Runner goes and pitches outside. Here comes the throw, and it's offline. J.D. Yakubinas, had a decent pitch to work with. It was up and away, but the throw was well behind the speedy Neighbors. He's at second base with 1 out.
Well, Neighbors got a really nice jump. This throw gets up the line a little bit. No chance. Neighbors was just spending his time over at first base trying to gauge Fink's time to home plate, leg kick, and everything else.
147 steals now. Alicea fans on it. Yakubinas has to throw to first in time to get him for the second out. And Neighbors has to stand pat at second base.
Great job by Yakubinas. Change up down and away, gets the swing, ball gets away. Now watch, he checks to make sure that Neighbors isn't going to third, realizes, hey, I got no time left, and throws a laser to first base to barely get Alicea.
Well, here's Moore. He will try to extend this inning. It's been a terrific year for Lucas Moore. 45 runs batted in. Has an RBI opportunity here in the third inning as Louisville is down 2-0. First team All ACC. Leads the league with 78 runs scored. And Moore has reached in 53 of the 56 games he's played in. That's the kind of guy you want at the top of your order.
Yeah, he is second in the country. He's had 24 games where he's had 1 hit, 1 run, and 1 stolen base. That's the guy you want at the top of the lineup. And he comes up right here, runner in scoring position. Oh, and he's only hitting .418 with runners in scoring position.
It's outside, 2-1. You see Moore, first in runs, second in hits. Cardinals could use a hit right now. Neighbors at second. That's a strike on the inside corner.
There's that changeup. All 3 of Fink's strikeouts have been on this changeup, and you can see he pulls it to glove side, but he's been very effective with it. A lot of late action.
2-2, and it's popped out of play. Now this Louisville offense, once it gets going, it kind of feeds on itself. They've had double-digit hits in 31 of 56 games this year. They've been a slow starter here against Fink today. But this is the second time around now with Lucas Moore, the leadoff man, up. Again, Fink to second. Neighbors back standing up. He wants to make sure that Cody Miller's okay. Sorry, buddy. You see Carter Fink had 17 pitches through the first 2, 19 here in the third, and he's not done yet. Breaking ball down on the ankles, and Moore had to fight that off.
Change up down and in. And this is the pull side, so this is where Fink's changeup usually ends up. Go zone for a left-handed hitter, but it's 10 miles an hour off his fastball. Just doing a great job of changing the speeds. His sinker looks almost identical to that changeup, which is perfect world in my mind.
4 home runs on the year for Moore. He represents the tying run. And another foul ball. Moore doesn't have a ton of power, at least hasn't shown it throughout the balance of the season. But, you know, again, the wind is carrying out. He just wants to get aboard because he can change the feel of an inning when he's running the bases. 2-2 to Lucas Moore. And this one is hammered. Deep right field. Forget about it. Goodbye home run. And we're tied at 2. Lucas Moore with his 5th of the year as the Cardinals finally get to Fink here in the 3rd inning.
You can see as the at-bat went on, Moore was getting more locked in on where that changeup was coming out of, and that was what he defended the pitch before that. Nice changeup down and away, spoils it off into left field. This fastball gets run right down through happy zone. Moore drops ahead of the bat, and we are all tied up.
What an at-bat for Moore as Klein fans on that off-speed delivery. That was an 8-pitch at-bat for Lucas Moore. Finally got the one he was looking for. And now Klein still trying to recalibrate, coming back from that 2-month injury. Struck out his first time up. He's behind here 0-2.
He struck out on that changeup. He just swung and missed, and Fink is taking advantage, recognizing the fact that a couple of these guys are really struggling picking up the changeup. Knowing Fink and this pitch calling right here is probably going to be a fastball up out of the zone or another changeup.
A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Carter Fink. But answering the 2-run homer by Miller in the top of the 3rd, Lucas Moore of the Cardinals, a 2-run homer of his own. And we are tied heading to the 4th in Music City. Here's how it maps out on the road to Omaha. The regionals this weekend, 64 teams alive. Next weekend, the super regionals as we get down to 16, then 8 in Omaha for the 75th version of the tournament since it moved to the Big O. And the finals, of course, later that week. And for more information, go to ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Lucas Moore with his 5th home run of the year, tying the game at 2 in the 3rd inning. Now the Bucks back at the plate. Axel Melendez lifts one to left. There's Zion Rose. He has a measure, makes the catch, 1 down. And this is a big inning for Patrick Forbes because not only did he give up the home run in the 3rd to Cody Miller, but he walked 2 hitters and hit another one. So he really needs to recalibrate here.
Yeah, and that was a big first out. 1 pitch, sinker down, easy F7. Exactly what Forbes needed to reset. His team just tied it up. You want to go out, have a quick 1-2-3 inning, get your offense back up at the plate.
Strike to Henry Ferguson, who was a strikeout victim of Forbes in the 2nd. He's Greg Olson. I'm Clay Matvick here in Nashville, day 1 of this regional. It's breezy, but absolutely beautiful day. And I understand that a few other regionals not having such great luck with the weather. About 3 regionals right now are dealing with weather, Hattiesburg included, and that's the regional that matches up with this one next week in the super regional round.
Yeah, it's just perfect right now. 70 degrees. Cloudy, but perfect baseball weather.
Of course, the Vanderbilt Commodores are going to be taking the field here in a few hours. 5 o'clock local time, 6 Eastern. Taking on the Wright State Raiders, champions of the Horizon League. Vanderbilt, about 6 weeks ago, they were doing fine, but not the version that we saw the last 6 weeks. Ended up playing so well that they got the #1 national seed. We talked to Tim Corbin about that. He said, the #1 national seed really doesn't matter. We're not thinking about that, but that's an honor.
It is an honor.
And
yeah.
They know that they're going to be home next week should they win this regional.
Well, it used to be almost a kiss of death until last year Tennessee ran from the #1 seed. But yeah, Corbin was like, you know what, we're going to be going into the selection committee meetings, and it was going to be, we were going to be 1 through 6. I don't know what we're going to be. And he goes 1-1. It's nice, first day, but other than that, doesn't mean anything.
3-2 to Ferguson, and Forbes gets another strikeout.
This is just a fastball right down Broadway. Forbes is going, all right, I'm done messing around. Here's some gas, middle of the plate, belt high, have at it.
8 strikeouts and 3 2/3 for Patrick Forbes. 5 of those 8 strikeouts on fastball, 3 on sliders. As Yakubinas comes up. Yakubinas was hit by a pitch and scored on that 2-run homer by Miller last inning. 1-0 inside and pulled foul.
We had about a 30-minute conversation with Coach McDonald yesterday, and he said during this little patch of losing streak that they've struggled on the mound, haven't struggled that much at the plate. But the conversation went to, it always seems like when the 9-hole guy comes up, we either hit him or walk him, and then he comes around to score, and look what happened.
Never fails. Baseball gods. They have a sense of humor. Yakubinas flies out to right. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and Forbes is through the 4th. We're going to talk to Joe Panucci, the bench boss for the Bucks, next. NCAA baseball regional coverage in Nashville presented by Capital One. We go to the Louisville half of the 4th inning. And let's bring in East Tennessee State head coach Joe Panucci. And Coach, 100 17 homers on the year right now for your club. You get a 2-run bomb for Miller. What is it like drawing up this lineup game in and game out when you know that you have such power 1 through 9?
Difficult, very difficult. You know, I think there's a couple guys that aren't in the lineup that have been really good for us, and that's what makes it tricky. But it's a good problem to have, and you know, I'm proud of the way that our guys and our coaches have worked with these dudes all year, and in the way that they've responded. And it's a special team, and obviously, you know, it was a good bolt right there by Cody. He's been doing that all year, so he's our little catalyst. So we got to keep him going.
Hey, Coach Greg Olson. Hey, it's been a pleasure talking to you over these last couple days. I'll try to keep you on point. But Carter Fink has been really good up until that one pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, the changeup is filthy. Great overlay, great sequencing. Talk to us a little bit about him.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what Carter does. I mean, he's kind of a low heartbeat guy, kind of doing his thing, you know, sinks it, changes it, and the change is really working today, you know, along with that sinker. So you're right, you nailed it on the head. I guess that's why, you know, you're in the booth right there, because you nailed it. That's what he's doing. And yeah, I mean, you know, Moore got that one, and it wasn't really a terrible pitch. He just kind of got it and ran into his barrel inside. So part of the game. Joe,
thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Nice chatting with you.
SoCon Coach of the Year, Joe Panucci of East Tennessee State. And Cody Miller, who hit that 2-run homer, was the bat boy at Stony Brook when Panucci was an assistant for the Seawolves back in the day, that team that made that magical run to Omaha. And here they have connected in Johnson City, Tennessee, and here are the Bucs playing in the national tournament.
Yeah, Cody Miller's dad was the SID at Stony Brook, so Cody was the bat boy running around. And he is said, Coach Panucci talking about him, he's just the pulse of the team. Great leadership qualities.
3-2, the leadoff man in the inning, Jake Monroe, swung on and fouled off by Monroe. Monroe grounded out in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Monroe was hitting .400 through the end of March. You can see that average has come down, but what a season it's been for the junior from Champaign, Illinois. Again, the 3-2 from Fink, and again, whack foul.
Back-to-back 3-2 changeups that Monroe's been able to spoil. Now, me being a big pitching sequence guy, all right, you're early on that, so then what's my next pitch? I need to probably run a fastball up and in.
And he does, but it misses. And so Jake Monroe, the leadoff hitter in the 4th inning, is aboard for Louisville.
Well, right time, right sequence, just missed with it. You know, if you're that early on my changeup, then I need to speed your bat back up, and I got to run something in. Just ran it in too far.
First walk given up by Carter Fink. And now first pitch swinging is Eddie King Jr. Monroe, of all the guys, you know, that steal bases on this Louisville team, Monroe just a couple of stolen bags on the year, but again, if you're going to play for Dan McDonald, you got to be able to run the bases, so keep an eye on him too.
And what that also does is now Fink is now focused a little bit on Monroe, not at much, but quick leg kick, you got to give a good pace. You want to give your catcher a chance to throw him out. So it changes the game. Fink has been really good out of the windup. He gets into the stretch now, whole different set of rhythm.
Hit on the ground and past diving Henry Ferguson into right field. Monroe is going to gallop into third. Runners at the corners and nobody out for the Cardinals. Again, on this turf, the ball moves pretty fast, and it got past Ferguson in a hurry.
I thought Ferguson had a chance, and it looks like he was really trying to set his body up to spin and throw to second base. And as he was doing that, the ball just got under his glove. Runners on first and third, and a very dangerous Garrett Pike coming to the plate.
3 homers, 37 runs batted in for Pike. And this is line to center. Monroe will score. Heading to third is King. Here comes the throw, and King is out. Good throw from Paul Meese from center field to record the first out of the inning. Pike goes into second base with a run batted in. And it's now 3-2 Louisville.
Garrett Pike gets a sinker elevated out over, drives it perfectly up the box. Great job in center field by Paul Meese. Gets King trying to be too aggressive, running right in front of him.
Now bring up Zion Rose. Rose grounded out his first time up, hit it to short. And this is Louisville, you know, in a nutshell. You know, a little bit of a slow start, but now they've got this offense going. That's what they're known for, just a terrific offense. Back in the NCAA tournament after a 2-year absence. And are they going to call a balk? Yes, they are. Garrett Pike got a big lead, kind of spooked Carter Fink, and it forced him into a balk, and now he's at third base.
Pike was trying to time up Fink's move towards home plate, gets down, way down into a secondary lead. My second look at it right there looked like he was just disengaging the rubber. But the home plate umpire, Darren Hyman, said that he flinched on that back leg.
Yeah, there it was. Man, he had to have eagle-eye vision. I needed the slow-mo replay to see it. 1-1 to Rose, and it's fouled off his front foot.
That's where I want to see if Fink can get to that slider a little bit more. Louisville's done a nice job of going up and really sitting on a pitch, sinker or a changeup, because Fink has been so effective with that little overlay mix, and if you're in between them, you're dead on both. So now it's time for Fink to wrinkle it back up and start throwing a couple more breaking balls, change up the game a little bit, especially right now. 3-2, runner in scoring position, and they're going to draw the infield in.
Fink's 1-2 to Rose. Outside, 2-2. Rose, one of the 5 captains for these Cardinals, freshman All-American last year. Hit .380 with 32 runs batted in. And has not had what sometimes happens to sophomores, a slump. He's had a really good year. And hammers this one to center. Paul Meese going back on the warning track, makes the catch. Pike will tag from third, and it's now 4-2 Louisville. Now Zion Rose nearly got it out of here, hits it to the deepest part of Hawkins Field, but it's a productive out.
Yeah, this fastball ends up just right down Broadway. Rose right on time. That's this one about 397.
And now Tate Davis, who lined out to first, is one time up. Little number left side. This could be a tough play for Fink. And drew the first baseman Curlis off the bag.
Well, there's this timing sequence that you have in your brain the longer you play. Fink gets off the mound. He has more time than he thinks. So he comes up right away, really does not get his feet moving towards first base. You can see it was just a pick up and throw. And in actuality, he had a couple feet on it where he could have set his feet and made a good clean throw to get the out. Should go down as an error.
And it does. Yeah, first of the ball game for either team. And Carter Fink, who was lights out the first 2 innings, has battled here the last 2 as the Bucs bullpen is stirring now. Derek McCarley, junior left-hander, starting to loosen up.
But Carter Fink's first time through the lineup, Louisville was 1 for 9 with a single and a run. Second time through the lineup, 3 for 5, a home run, and 3 runs.
Louisville has the longest winning streak in the NCAA tournament that is active. 11 regional openers they have won in the NCAA tournament. As this one has popped up, Miller's got it, and Neighbors is out on one pitch. So Fink gets ETSU back to the dugout, but 2 more runs score for Dan McDonald's Cardinals, and they're now leading as we head to the 5th. Off we go to the 5th inning here in Nashville, ETSU and Louisville. It's 4-2 Cardinals now as we bring in Dan McDonald. 19th year as head coach of the Cardinals. And coach, the offense, it's been, you know, one of the trademarks of your team this year, not just on the bases, but the power. And then you get Lucas Moore at the top of the order with a terrific 8-pitch at bat to get you on the board. And it's kind of opened things up for this offense today.
That was the key that inning. You can't take strikes. I mean, he fills up the zone. So you have to be aggressive. But when you get 2 strikes on you, you have to have a better approach. In that inning, Tate Davis lines out to first. Kamayu gets a 2-out hit. Even though Alisea strikes out, man, he battles. He allows us to steal the base. And then obviously, you know, Lucas Moore gets the 2-strike home run. And even look at last inning with Zion. And, you know, you have to have a good 2-strike approach against this guy because he's efficient. He's in the zone early. He's in the zone often. And unless you have a bad swing like the last one we had there, you got to be able to hit with 2 strikes.
Hey, Coach, Patrick Forbes, I mean, electric stuff, really special stuff. How do you, how's the navigation with keeping him, you know, laser focused, because it's all of a sudden there'll be one scatter shot pitch and then back at it?
Yeah, and that's it. I guess, you know, as you know, Greg, when you throw that hard and it is electric, sometimes it can get away from you a little bit. Or if you try to do too much. And Coach Williams is always over in the corner of the dugout. He's always saying, let it work, let it work. Like, you just, you know, you got to trust it. Sounds a lot easier than it is, but I just want him to compete and have fun. For me, this has been a huge growth year for Patrick. As the Friday night starter, have some great outings, have some tough outings. Come off the, you know, you're not able to pitch for about 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, this is the world of pitching, right? So it's a great year for him to just grow and keep getting better.
Hey, Mac, we appreciate your time.
You got it.
Thanks Coach.
Guys.
Dan McDonald, head coach of the Cardinals, and he has been for a long time with a lot of success. 5 trips to Omaha, but he started his career at the Citadel as a player. That's where he first had his first taste of Omaha. Helped the Citadel get there in 1990 as their leadoff hitter. Won the SoCon that year, and the last SoCon team to reach the College World Series. There's a strikeout for Patrick Forbes. Cody Miller got the 2-run homer off of him in the 3rd, but he K's here to start the 5th.
Coach McDonald left the Citadel, and here comes Forbes, just electric stuff. Little arm side run up and in. And that is an easy go-to spot for a right-handed pitcher. But back to Coach McDonald, left the Citadel as the all-time leader in stolen bases with 99. And the all-time leader in walks, which I still think he is.
Yeah. East Tennessee State would try to be the first team from the SoCon to get to Omaha this year if they can make a run since that Citadel run in 1990. Bounding ball to first. Davis steps on the bag, and Blake Jacklin is retired. So this is shaping up to be another good inning. 6 in a row set down by Patrick Forbes.
Well, that's what you want to do. Your offense woke up, bottom of the 3rd, get you 2. And then they get you 2 more in the bottom of the 4th. And you just want to go up and fill the zone up. Start just using that electric dominating stuff and just pounding the zone. Knowing your offense has started to wake up, you just got to keep them coming up to the plate.
Well, Cooper Torres has had a torrid year at the plate for East Tennessee State. SoCon Player of the Year, 23 homers, 72 runs batted in. But Forbes has made him look pretty pedestrian today with a couple of strikeouts swinging.
Yeah, it really has. Got him on first inning with a fastball in. Got him in the 3rd on a slider down out of the zone. And Torres just looks like he is in between everything. He's not on time, has not made a pass at a good fastball. And he takes the first one right down Broadway, and then there was that slider that struck him out in the third.
The 0-2. Another big miss, but Klein, you know, they're just getting him back into shape is what they're trying to do.
Well,
after missing 2 months.
And that one will do it. That was the strikeout in the first. This one, both of those pitches are out of the zone. So Forbes knows that Torres will chase out of the zone, look for a breaking ball down, out. Okay, that was the pitch. Now you've got to get that one where it's actually starting in the zone, diving out. That one did not ever give Torres the impression it was starting out as a strike.
Torres, SoCon tournament most valuable player, 5 for 9 with 6 ribbies in 3 games. That's a fastball just outside, so now full count to Torres.
And Roger Williams is sitting in the dugout going, trust your stuff. Just get back into it. That's been 3 pitches that have not been competitive coming towards the zone.
(3-2). That was competitive. Third strikeout of Torres for Patrick Forbes. That's his 4th outing of the year with 10 or more Ks. Patrick Forbes in Louisville leading through 4.5. Lucas Moore got the offense going for Louisville today with a terrific 8-pitch AB. He'll bat second this inning.
Yeah, and you could see it. As a former pitcher, I could really see that he's getting on time. He's starting to track everything. And when he spoiled that changeup right before that home run, I was like, all right, Fink's going to have to do something different because you can't keep running fastballs in, changeups away. You got to mix it up, and he did not, and Moore made him pay.
Alex Alicea leading it off. It'll be 9-1-2 in the 5th for Louisville, leading 4-2 in this regional opener in Nashville. Soft liner to left, and coming on is Melendez, lays down for it, makes the catch. And now here comes Moore. With his 5th home run of the year in the 3rd inning. Leads the team in average, 2nd in the country with 46 stolen bases, caught just once on the base pass this year. One of the most exciting players in this tournament.
Coach McDonald said he actually got caught a couple of times, but as I reviewed them, got him overturned. I think he said I got about 3 more stolen bases because they called it wrong on the field.
Hey, use the technology when you can. Moore had a 35-game on-base streak at one point this season, a 22-game hitting streak at another point. First team All-ACC for his coach, Dan McDonnell. Always fun to talk to Mac.
Yeah.
Strike on the inside corner, 2-1. Longest tenured coach in the Louisville athletic department. All the sports. 19 years. And of course took the Cards to the College World Series his first year on the job in '07. And it doesn't seem that long ago. It's 19 years now that he's since that opening year.
Well, he's one of the good ones in the game. I mean, great to talk to, pleasant, uplifting to his players, really has a plan and a program that he wants to run.
There's a walk to Moore. I think was extremely careful that time.
All right, so when somebody gets on time, a player of Moore's ability against you as a pitcher, you got to change the game. All right, so I'll show you the changeup away. Misses with the second one. Gets back into the count. Now he tries to work up and in, and then tries to run a 2-seamer down and away, trying to do a little bit different game. I was thinking that he might try to run that little cut slider in on the hands of Moore just to show him something other than a fastball and a changeup.
Matt Klein still trying to get back on track. Second game back from the wrist injury, which cost him 2 months. And Matt Klein has had an injury-plagued career. Missed almost all of the 2023 season with an injury. 2025 has been tough, so staying healthy has been an issue. A couple of strikeouts today for Klein.
And both of them have been on changeups. Now he's starting to move up in the box. He's going, all right, you're exposed that I cannot hit your changeup, and all Fink has thrown him are changeups. So now he's sliding up in the box, trying to get on time on that pitch.
There goes Moore, and there's another stolen base. 47 on the year.
I mean, that's just a great jump. As soon as Fink gets that left heel up on the ground, Moore is off and running.
Ooh, that was a good throw. Yeah, Cabinas made it close.
Yeah, he did. He did everything he could do. And Fink, I thought, did a nice job of holding him on and giving it a decent pause. That's just how good Moore is. 47 of 48 now in stolen bases.
2 strikes to Matt Klein. Another run out there for Louisville, leading by 2. Got a piece of it to stay alive. When the injury happened to Klein, that was a big blow to Louisville. I mean, he's their starting catcher, their cleanup hitter. At least he was at the time, and a captain.
Yeah, it was a devastating moment for a lot of the players, knowing what he means to this program.
And another foul ball as Klein continues to battle Carter Fink.
I mean, Fink's just not even trying to throw him a fastball. It's been change-ups. That one was a slider. I'm waiting to see Fink just throw a four-seamer up out of the zone, change eye level, change velocity. Do something different, then come back to that changeup.
No balls, 2 strikes to the junior from Louisville, Matt Klein. Another off-speed pitch, sails outside, 1-2. You'd think at some point he'll run a fastball up there and it's just going to surprise Klein. Fly ball. Deep right center field. Is it going to stay in the ballpark? Carrying, gone. Goodbye home run. And that's why Fink didn't throw a fastball. Finally does, and Klein runs it out of here for his 4th home run of the year, a 2-run job in the 5th. And it's now 6-2 Louisville.
Well, I was thinking you need to show him a fastball. Don't give it. This fastball's right down Broadway. And you can see why they're not throwing Klein anything good to hit. This is why. I wanted to show fastball come back to the changeup. Great effort out in center field by Palmise.
And now a trip to the mound by Jamie Pinzino, the pitching coach. A couple of 2-run homers in this ball game for Louisville. They're 73rd and 74th of the season as a team. You know, not as many home runs as East Tennessee State, but boy, the ones that Louisville has hit today, really important, have changed the complexion of this game, and they have finally knocked out starter Carter Fink, who for a few innings in this ball game looked dominant.
Looked as good as there is, and just too many of the same pitches. Louisville too good. You had to mix it up, and Carter Fink just got caught.
Pitching change here in Nashville. Matt Klein, welcome back to the Louisville roster lineup. 2-run homer. Wow, ESPN is the home for the NCAA baseball regionals. For multi-game coverage, scan the QR code below. ESPN Plus subscribers can access expanded coverage with Squeeze Play. Matt Schick, Chris Button, Mike Rooney, and Chris Burke hold it down the fort. And that's where you can get the entire tournament in one sitting. I mean, it's fantastic coverage. And Carter Fink is out of this game for East Tennessee State. The Bucks senior was really good for the first couple of innings. Last 4 1/3. Gives up 5 hits, couple of 2-run homers do him in.
Yeah, and those 2 walks end up coming around to score. It's going to bring in Derek McCarley, left-handed junior. 3-1 on the year, 3.24 ERA, 1 save, 41 innings. It's going to feature a fastball, 86-90, slider, and a curveball.
1 out for Jake Monroe. 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. His last relief appearance, McCarley pitched an inning and a third, gave up 3 hits, couple of runs against Samford in the SoCon semis. But was really good during the regular year, 2nd team All-League, product of Seymour High School in Tennessee.
Needs just 1 1/3 more innings to get to 100 innings pitched for East Tennessee State.
2 runs in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th for Louisville. 1 out, bases empty for Monroe. Off speed pitch, got him. And that's the 2nd out.
Backdoor breaking ball. It's Monroe way out front. And McCarley actually does a really nice job versus right-handed hitters on the year, hitting 188. And this is why. This breaking ball starts off in the left-handed batter's box. Ends up coming back to catch the outside part of the plate.
2 outs, and here is Eddie King. Dan McDonald was telling you and I about King that he was the guy that was specifically asked to step up in March when Matt Klein went down with the injury. And he has responded. Coach designated hitter.
Yeah, Coach McDonald had the captains in the meeting, and everybody knew that Klein was probably out for the season. Everybody was dejected. And Coach McDonald literally just kind of looked at Eddie King and said, I need you to step up. And Coach McDonald said he's a slow starter generally. He goes, you need to pick it up. And he has been the MVP of this team offensively.
Led the Cardinals in homers last year with 14. He has matched that total this season. And his 52 runs batted in are a career best. 6-2 Louisville. His regional opener in Nashville. How good did that home run feel for Matt Klein? His first in more than 2 months. Fly ball center field. This has a chance. Paul Meese on his horse. Looking up, reaching up, and it's gone. Goodbye home run. Eddie King Jr. a solo blast. 3rd home run of the game for the Cardinals. 416 feet. And even if the wind is a little bit behind the ball going that way, that was crushed. 7 unanswered runs for the Cardinals.
He gets the football helmet as a reward. But that ball was obliterated. Breaking ball left elevated out over. He just saw his buddy before him, Monroe, strike out on that same pitch.
Now trying to butt his way on is Garrett Pike, and this could be a tough play at first. Safe. Garrett Pike beats it out. His 2nd hit.
Taking advantage of the way that McCarley falls off the mound. Just a nice bunt. McCarley could not get his feet set right away. Nice bunt.
3rd hit of the inning and 7th overall for Louisville. And this is Zion Rose again. Drove in a run with a sac fly to center back in the 4th inning. Well, the state of Tennessee seeing a lot of home runs in regional play so far. The Knoxville Regional has seen 5 home runs already today. We have 4 here in Music City. That's a strike on the outside corner. You can see Zion Rose checked his swing and didn't agree with the call, but he was very polite about it. And that's key this time of year. Don't get yourself thrown out of a ball game.
Yeah, don't get started arguing on a pitch that close.
There's another one. Now it's 1-2 to Rose.
Looks like Rose is just having a conversation with Darren Hyman, the home plate umpire, just going, all right, that pitch looked in, that pitch looked away, just having a nice back and forth.
Oh, McCarley almost threw that away. Curlis, nice backhand catch. Derek McCarley on in relief here in the 5th inning of Carter Fink, the starter, who lasted 4 1/3. McCarley's pitch misses down, 2-2.
Just really solid at bats. After Fink ran through first time around the lineup, this Louisville team woke up really very well disciplined on their takes.
Swung on and missed. And that's going to end the inning. Zion Rose strikes out, but Louisville, 3 more runs in the 5th inning, a couple of home runs, a 2-run shot by Matt Klein, and Eddie King Jr. goes yard as well. Football season a few months away, but the Cardinals, heavy hitters today. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Along with Greg Olson, I'm Clay Matvick here at Hawkins Field in Nashville. Louisville 7-2 leading East Tennessee State as we move on to the 6th inning in this opening round game. Winner will get either Vanderbilt or Wright State tomorrow. And the loser is back here tomorrow facing elimination. Champions from the SoCon, the Buccaneers of ETSU, got out to a 2-run lead in the 3rd on a 2-run homer by Cody Miller, but 7 unanswered by the Cards. Tristan Curlis leading off here in the 6th for the Bucks. He has struck out twice against Patrick Forbes. Forbes has been outstanding today at times. Does have the 3 walks plus a hit by pitch, but he has 10 strikeouts, Ole.
Yeah, he is dominant right now, mixing up pitches. Just been a couple of erratic misses, but that one was not an erratic miss. Nice 2-seam fastball starting on the outside corner. Curlis recognizes it as a strike, has to go chasing after it, and it ends up about 6-8 inches off the plate.
Close enough that you have to offer at him.
Yeah, it started right on the corner, and then the arm side run just takes him off, and you can see a little frustration from Curlis.
That's the 11th K for Forbes. And now Grant Gallagher. Gallagher, 20 home runs, 49 runs batted in, just a breakout power season. Had 9 homers in 98 career games at Santa Fe College before coming to ETSU. He has struck out and walked today.
I really think it's been more about Forbes, though. You know, this is 11 Ks, matches his season high, which he had opening night against Texas in 5 innings. It's just electric stuff. You got to get your bat started, and he's able to rush a fastball up there on both sides of the plate.
And now that it's a 5-run deficit for ETSU, I mean, they got to find ways to get on base. I mean, the home run, you can't hit a 5-run homer.
No, last time I checked, no. I've seen some guys try to hit a 5-run home run, but it doesn't count that way.
So are they going to be a little bit out of their game plan?
I don't think so. You know what? They've been through it all year long. They found a way to beat Tennessee. They have been through the wars, and so now it's just, hey, calm down. Let's find a way to get a little bit of base runners on, get some traffic.
Called strike 3, back-to-back Ks in the 6th, and 3 in a row going back to the 5th inning. That's a dozen strikeouts for Patrick Forbes.
Well, he's been showing 2-seam fastballs in. This one outside corner. Little ride on it on the four seam.
Look at that, it ties a postseason record at Louisville. Palmeese 0 for 1 with a walk, and that's going to be foul. Think about all the great pitchers that Louisville has had in recent years, and Forbes comes out today, strikes out a dozen, and he's only in the 6th inning. The pitch count is now getting up there, but should he take care of business here in the 6th, no reason not to think he wouldn't be out here for the 7th.
Yeah, I might give him a little bit of a window in the 7th, assuming he gets out of this inning clean. But you got to remember now, he had a forearm injury back in mid-April, so he is just starting to ramp his innings back up. His last start on 5/17 against Wake Forest was 5 innings. Before that was on the 11th of May against Georgia Tech. That was 4 innings. He had 2 innings against Notre Dame the start before that. So he is really kind of working his way back up, and what you would assume might be a big, long 100, 110 pitch count. I think that's going to be the factor of, hey, I need this guy later on. Let's give my bullpen a chance to rush out there with a 5-run lead.
Two to Palmeese, upstairs, full count.
Throw it again. You got a 5-run lead, throw it again. Right down Broadway. As my partner Clay said, there are no 5-run home runs in college baseball.
Just below the knees, a free pass here. Ending a string of 9 in a row retired for Patrick Forbes.
Good pitch, just missed down bottom of the zone. Klein gives it a nice frame up. Home plate umpire Darren Hyman is not biting. He's had a solid zone today, been very consistent, up, down.
4th walk allowed by Forbes, but his first since the 3rd inning. And now Axel Melendez with 2 down. Melendez 0 for 2 with a couple of lineouts. Well, this is what ETSU needs, base runners. Get Patrick Forbes out of rhythm. He was certainly in a good rhythm there for 2.5 innings.
And Melendez had a really nice SoCon tournament, so he's been swinging a hot bat.
Pitch number 100 from Forbes, and it's fouled off by Melendez.
Nice job by Forbes keeping up the velo. Came in 96-97. It's down 94-95. But it's still effortless. Doesn't look like he's thrown 100 pitches here today.
Way outside, 2-2. Yeah, one thing about Forbes, Greg, is he wears his emotions on his sleeve. When he makes a bad pitch, everybody in the ballpark knows about it.
Well, we talked about it. You know, it doesn't have a whole lot of track record on the mound. Came to Louisville as a 2-way player. Actually hit 258 his freshman year. They really love the prospect of him hitting. His 2-2 pitches, when it's a challenge count, have not been very good. He's tried to really amp up the intensity, the effort level, and he has not been competitive with these 2-2 pitches and on a couple 3-2 pitches. When he gets a little bit more track record, he's going to be able to lock that in and just trust his stuff and make a good pitch in a nice location.
Payoff pitch, runner goes, swung on and missed. That's a baker's dozen. 13 strikeouts for Patrick Forbes. And that ties a career high. As ETSU goes scoreless in the 6th. We have played 5.5. It is 7-2 Louisville. The NCAA regional coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow on ESPN Plus and the ESPN app. For more information, go to ncaa.com. Here is our bracket in Nashville. Vanderbilt and Wright State coming up next on the road to Omaha. Alongside Greg Olson, I'm Clay Matvick, and we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Tate Davis at the plate for the Cardinals. 7, 8, 9. He'll be followed by Neighbors and Alicea. 2 runs in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and 3 in the 5th for the Cardinals. They have 3 home runs. Davis is 0 for 2, a line out, and reached on an error. Not a ton of hits for Louisville, but boy, they have made him count. 7 runs on 7 hits. And it's called strike 3. Davis goes down looking as Derek McCarley starts his first full inning. He came on in relief with 1 out in the 5th.
Couple of nice breaking balls to get to 0-2. And then it looks like Davis just comes off the slider looking for something else. And this ball starts out close to his hip, ends up catching the inside part of the plate.
This is Kamayu Neighbors, swings at the first pitch. Fielded on a hop by Gallagher at 3rd, and Grant Gallagher throws cross for the 2nd out. You know, a 5-run lead in the 6th inning is pretty comfortable, but I'm sure Dan McDonald would like to see some really competitive at-bats. They like to pad that lead because we know how dangerous this Buccaneers lineup can be.
Yeah, averaging over 8 runs a game, so this offense can light it up. And now Coach McDonald's just called a little offensive timeout, having a conversation. It's probably going to be if Alicea gets on base, it's like, all right, 2nd pitch, I want you to run. We're going to do a hit and run with more, something like that. Also, it's been 2 quick bang bang outs for McCarley. Hey, you know what? Let's let you sit here for a minute.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Just put McCarley on ice. He was getting into too much of a rhythm. He has retired 3 in a row going back to last inning. And the lefties look pretty good out of the Bucks pen as Alex Alicea comes up 0 for 2 with a strikeout. We heard Dan McDonald talk about Alicea's strikeout, though, in the 3rd inning. He said it was a productive out. It was a 7-pitch at bat and really made Carter Fink work. And it kind of set the stage for Lucas Moore, the next hitter to come up. He had seen a lot of pitches from the on-deck circle, saw a lot of pitches in his at-bat, and then eventually hit a 2-run homer.
Yeah, and it really did. It was a good competitive at bat. And you hear guys talk about that, and you kind of look at them a little bit sideways, going really competitive at bat that ended in a strikeout. But you see how the sequence went. Sometimes you get beat on a pitch, but if you're having good swings on everything and you're on time, you feel pretty good coming back to the next time of the plate.
Flailed at there by Alicea. 1-2.
See, Alicea is a switch hitter, and we talked about it. He feels more comfortable with that thumb hitting from the left side. So maybe that a little bit of the conversation from McDonald was, hey, you know what? If you don't feel comfortable hitting from the right side against this lefty, stay lefty-lefty. Now, Alicea is in a weird zone because he hasn't hit off a left-handed pitcher from the left side in who knows how long. And the thumb's kind of forcing him to do it.
2-2, and that's lined foul into the corner. Boy, that was a pretty good swing left on left.
It was, yeah. I don't, you know, and you don't know how much time he spent in the last week, couple days. You're trying to let that thumb heal up, so you don't want a whole lot of batting practice. A little cut fastball down in the zone that Alicea just buggy hooks, just foul.
2-2, and that's up and in. Full count to Alicea, and Lucas Moore, who has a home run today, is on deck. Oh, that hit him. Another good at bat by Alicea. He's aboard with 2 outs. I mean, it's a painful at bat, but he's going to take it down to first base. And now Lucas Moore will come up. He's been on base twice. He scored a couple of runs. Of course, that 2-run homer in the third as the ETSU bullpen, Colin Eaton, is beginning to loosen up.
I am sure he is getting warmed up for Jake Monroe, batting in the 3 spot. You got Moore lefty, and then you got Matt Klein's also a lefty. So you can see McCarley run through these next couple of guys, and then Eaton will come in for Monroe. But McCarley's got a nice quick move. He is pushing the boundaries of that 45-degree angle that you're allowed to pick off from the left side. I mean, really pushing that 45-degree angle down the mound.
Another throw to first for McCarley.
Here's another look at that pick move that I'm talking about. You have 45-degree angle from your toe down the rubber towards home plate. And he is definitely right on that line of trying to give the hitter the impression.
Wow, they picked off Alicea. Can he beat the throw? No, he cannot. The throw from the first baseman, Curlis, right on a dime to second. And the inning is over. So McCarley hits Alicea, but faces the minimum in the 6th inning.
Nice pickoff, going first move, Alicea. Great job by Curlis to get the ball out. Caught stealing. ETSU comes up for the top of the 7th.
What a game for Patrick Forbes. Now, he did walk 4 and he did hit 1, but 13 strikeouts ties a career high, and he breaks the program national tournament record held by Trey Harrington, who struck out 12 in the 2016 Super Regionals against UC Santa Barbara.
Yeah, it's just dominant stuff. Had a little bit of a struggle in the 3rd inning. You saw the home run, but fastball's just electric. Hit by pitch and then a home run after that. A whole bunch of punch outs and very, very little traffic.
And now here comes Brennan Cutts out of the bullpen. Big 6'3", 240-pound senior out of Illinois. He has been used a ton out of this Cardinals bullpen.
Yeah, Indiana State transfer, 3-1, 5.34. Opponents are hitting .219 on the season. Fastball is going to be 88 to 93. Slider, changeup. He'll mix in an occasional sinker. But right-handed hitters, off the right-handed cuts, are hitting 159 on the year.
And the Bucs are going to counter with a pinch hitter. Lenny Montesano is going to hit for Henry Ferguson here in the 8-hole to start the 7th inning. Just 2 hits in the ball game for the Bucs. And Montesano, a senior out of Harlem, New York, is behind in the count, 1 strike. Second team All-SoCon as a designated hitter, Montesano. 9 homers, 28 runs batted in. Didn't get the start today. Trying to get the 7th inning going for ETSU. We talked about Cutts at Indiana State, Greg. He was the Missouri Valley Conference Pitcher of the Year last year. This has been a great addition out of the portal for Dan McDonald.
Yeah, led the MVC in ERA, 10th in strikeouts. Really solid arm.
Boy, I guess so. Strikes out Montesano with ease. 1 away.
That one was good morning, good afternoon, good night. Fastball just riding up out of the zone. Montesano can't do anything with it.
J.D. Yakubinas in the 9-hole has been hit by a pitch. and flied out to right. He scored on the 2-run homer by Cody Miller. The only runs for the Bucs today. Yakubinis originally committed to App State. Instead went to Gaston College for a couple of years. Now in his second year with East Tennessee State. Look out, hit him at back. Oh, it's the second time that Yakubinis has been hit. So a 1-out base runner and back to the top of the order in Miller.
I'm trying to look in the dugout right now to see what Coach McDonald's doing, because that has been his point. It just always seemed like the 9-hole guy comes up, we walk him, we hit him. This is how that third inning got started against Forbes, and you could just see Cut's reaction with a head drop.
That look says it all.
That's going to be the first thing he's going to say to me tomorrow morning in the gym at 7 a.m. He's like, we really hit the 9-hole guy twice after we talked about this. Then I'm going to go, good morning, Coach.
Got to be careful to Miller. Hit his 17th home run in the third inning. And now has a 12-game hitting streak. As East Tennessee State is trying to get back in this one, down 5. That is fouled back over the screen. This is when Patrick Forbes was, starting to spray it around a little bit. And he dealt one to Miller that he could handle.
Yeah, that was the last time that Yakubinis got hit. Miller came up and deposited one out in the right center stands.
This one is hit hard and deep. Right center, still going back, and on the warning track, caught by Lucas Moore. One of the best center fielders in the ACC. He hauls it in for the second out, but Miller tried hard to get another one out of here.
I mean, it was almost identical. Same pitch, same location, pretty close to right center. Fastball out over. And this one is about, 10 feet shorter than the home run?
So 2 outs for Jacklin. Canadian right fielder trying to extend this inning and spark a rally here for ETSU late. .339, 5 homers and 27 runs batted in. He has more walks than strikeouts, which is always impressive. Has a walk today. And a base hit his first time up. Out in front of that one, 1-1.
Nice change up. But you're sitting here, if you're Louisville right now, you're looking, all right, they're down to 5 outs. No, excuse me, 7 outs. Nice math right there, Clay.
I know where
and so,
going.
you're starting to go, all right, Tucker Bivens, the closer. Do I want to bring him into a situation? If Cutts is rolling, I'm going, all right, well, I won't have Cutts tomorrow, but I can get him back on Sunday. So you're starting to do the math on how you want to navigate the bullpen over these next 7 outs. That was just some seriously bad Minnesota math right there, Clay.
Omaha math. Watch yourself, young man. There's that wind picking up again and blowing out to right field. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jacklin. Brennan Cutts on in relief for Louisville. Rears back and throws a perfect pitch, chased by Jacklin for strike 3. Louisville has hit 3 home runs today. That guy running in, Lucas Moore, has 1 of them. He'll lead off the 7th for the Cardinals.
Welcome everyone to Omaha, Nebraska, home of the College World Series.
'Cause here I come, I wear it all on my sleeve, so everything you see shows you where I'm from.
Bolts back and makes the catch! Somehow hung on! Back-to-back jacks!
More, can you believe it?
The last 5 College World Series champions have come from the SEC. Vanderbilt here in Nashville will try to keep that going, as Lucas Moore is going to be safe at first base. That is another error on East Tennessee State. I mean, Moore is fast, and the Bucs knew they had to hurry. But if this is caught, it should be an out.
Yeah, but I mean, look how close McCarley is to Curlis. It's 20 feet away. So it's a bullet. Yes, it should have been caught. Just probably McCarley needed to find a different way to get the ball there quicker without a spin move and a bullet.
That's going to be an error on Curlis, the first baseman, and it's the second error for ETSU as Moore is aboard to start the seventh. And of course, he already has a stolen base today and 47 on the year. Always a threat to steal as Matt Klein is up.
I mean, Curlis is on the SoCon defensive teams, had one error all season. So I'm sure everybody in that dugout's just shocked he was unable to hold on to that one.
So Montesano, who came in as a pinch hitter last inning for ETSU, stays in the game. He's at third base. Grant Gallagher goes from third to second. Ground ball to first, picked by Curlis. He is going to win the race to the bag at first. He thought he may have had a force play at second. That's why the hesitation. They're able to get one, but Moore now at second base.
Really nice play. He attacks the ball thinking he's going to get Moore at second base, comes up, and late break by McCarley to get over there. This one was a lot closer than it needed to be, but I like Curlis's aggressiveness to get that lead out at second base. Just realized he didn't have it there. McCarley late to the bag, and Curlis makes the best out of it.
Jamie Pinzino, the pitching coach for the Bucs, comes out, makes his second appearance. A little pat on the back for McCarley. He is going to leave the ball game. And another pitching change for ETSU. Colin Eaton, junior right-hander, making his way to the mound here in Nashville. Louisville came into the day with 34 fewer homers than East Tennessee State, but they have out-homered the Bucs today 3-1.
Yeah, and the bats have come out of the top of the lineup. Lucas Moore with a bomb to right. That's Eddie King going out to center. And Matt Klein threw a two-run home run in the fifth. So the Louisville bats have shown up. You got the middle of the lineup right now that Colin Eaton will be attacking Jake Monroe and Eddie King with a runner in scoring position.
Let's talk about Colin Eaton, a junior right-hander, transferred in from Gordon State College. He's out of Cartersville, Georgia, north of Atlanta. 25 strikeouts in 18 innings, so he's got some strikeout ability, but like you said, he's going to be facing a pretty dangerous portion of this Cardinals lineup.
Yeah, fastball is going to be 89 to 93, curveball, slider, and a changeup. Big swing and miss rate on his changeup.
The three-hole hitter Monroe today, 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Lucas Moore is at second with one out. 1-0 pitch. It's off the plate for Eaton. You know, you take away those home runs, there have not been a lot of hits for the Cardinals, just 7 total.
It hasn't been an explosive day per se, but when they've gotten the hits, they've been big and done some damage. Only Eddie King's was a solo. Every other one was a two-run home run.
And now 2-2 to Monroe. Patrick Forbes, the starting pitcher for Louisville, was outstanding. 13 strikeouts, tying a career high, setting a program record for strikeouts in a national tournament game. And he took it deep. Went 6 innings. That always helps in these postseason tournaments. You don't want to tax your bullpen early. Ground ball to deep short. Miller throw in time to get the runner. Moore goes over to third on the play. So Monroe is retired, 2 outs. And here comes Eddie King Jr.
Oh, really nice pitch by Eaton. Runs a sinker in. Jams Monroe, and I love the base running by Moore. He just sits there about 10 feet off of second base, waits for Miller to make that long throw across the diamond, and takes off for third base.
King's last time up hit one 416 feet to the right of the batter's eye. His 15th home run of the year. And now coming into the day, 29 of his 33 career homers have come against the Power Four. So that tells me he thrives on competition. And when the competition ratchets up, he's at his best.
Yeah, that's what Coach McDonald said in our meeting. He talked just about that, of how he's not one of those guys that gets his home runs and his RBIs in moments like it's 8-1 and your team's winning. He gets his moments in the biggest moments of the game.
Line to right center. That's going to find the gap. Another run driven in by Eddie King Jr. And it's 8-2.
So fastball left elevated, stays inside of it with 2 strikes. Just a nice piece of clutch hitting with 2 outs.
A good job by Paul Meese to hold King to a single. 54 runs batted in now on the year by King. Continues to add to his career high in that category. 2-hit day for Garrett Bite.
So we're starting to get a little bit of rain.
Comebacker Eaton will flip it to first, and the inning is over. But not before the Cardinals strike for another one. RBI single from Eddie King Jr. It's 8-2 as we head to the 8th in Nashville. Back here at Hawkins Field in Nashville, Vanderbilt and Wright State coming up later. East Tennessee State, Louisville now, and the Bucks down 8-2 as they bat in the 8th inning. 3, 4, and 5 due up. Torres, Curlis, and Gallagher, some of the best hitters throughout the regular season in the country. But today, 0 for 8, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk.
That's the story of the game right there for me. And it goes a lot to Patrick Forbes and what he was able to get done. Ran through the middle of this lineup, explosive fastballs. Now all 3 of those guys were probably sitting in the dugout going, all right, he's left, let's get going.
Torres is semifinalist for the Dick Howser Trophy at the plate. 3 strikeouts, all swinging against Forbes. Brennan Cutts took a little something off there. 1-1. You talked about the rain just before the commercial. It's not raining hard, and it doesn't look like it's going to rain long because there's some sun behind this cloud. But this black cloud is right over the top of the stadium, and it's just enough water to be annoying.
Well, you're trying. I don't know why you're annoyed.
I think I'm looking at the fans. You can see that dark cloud hovering.
And that's all we got right now. The next couple of clouds are all good.
I feel for these fans. They're just being annoyed by this little shower. It's upstairs from Cutts. And there's Patrick Forbes. He's having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, taking it in. His work is done. 13 strikeouts, a career high.
You know what? If that's what you want after striking out 13, you can do whatever you want.
2-2, soft liner, and snared by Neighbors. Caillou Neighbors making that running play for the first out.
Nice play right here, sinking line drive. Neighbors getting the glove out. Big first out. Torres 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. I mean, the only person really probably annoyed other than the fans would be Cutts. He's out there and it's like, all right, baseball's getting a little bit wet, but got to deal with it.
Curlis 3 strikeouts today. Shift is on. Hear that rain pattering in the background. So you've pitched a long time in your life. Not so much recently.
Not recently.
But, you know, when you have to deal with a little bit of precipitation like this, how hard is it as a pitcher?
Well, I mean, the one thing you're really concerned with is...
Oh, my. Hold that thought. Goodbye home run. Tristan Curlis. With the bases empty here in the 8th inning. Second home run of the day for East Tennessee State. And it's now 8-3.
10th home run on the year. ETSU able to answer that Louisville run in the bottom of the 7th. Keeps them within 5. Fastball inside part of the plate, and Curlis just smashed it.
Well, that's the first hit since the 3rd inning for the Bucs. It was also a homer off the bat of Cody Miller. So we'll see if that sparks a rally here for East Tennessee State. Cutts saw that one slip out of his hand a little bit.
That's one issue. When it starts to rain, the ball gets a little bit wet. You try to protect your hand. You try to protect the ball from getting wet. And the more it rains, the wetter your areas that you can go dry your hand off are. And the other aspect, and this is what I am not familiar with, is pitching on AstroTurf in the rain. I mean, every mound I've ever thrown on has been dirt, clay, and so that becomes an issue of sliding on your landing foot. I think there's going to be a little bit of an issue with the AstroTurf and a little bit of sliding once it gets wet.
You see Brennan Cutts trying to acclimate here as the shower lessens up a little bit. 2-1 pitch to Gallagher. There's a strike. 2-2 now to Grant Gallagher. A couple of strikeouts looking and a free pass.
Well, that's what I'm talking. They got an AstroTurf mound. You're wearing the spikes. You're still getting some landing traction.
Oh, good pitch. Struck him out on the changeup. 16th strikeout for Cardinals pitching today. That is a program NCAA tournament record.
Just nice location away, and Cutts has done a really nice job other than one pitch. Really good location, good command. Fastball's been around 93, shown a really nice changeup.
And now Jamie Palmise 0 for 1, a pair of walks. Louisville 20-0 when leading after 8. So that speaks well to what Roger Williams is working with in that Louisville bullpen.
Yeah, it really does. Well, you got Cutts coming in 7th and 8th, and then you got a guy that was on the USA College national team last summer, and Tucker Biven.
You see he went strike, 0-2.
So you got a couple of guys that can flat out get it done at the back end of the bullpen.
There's Roger Williams, 19 years as Dan McDonald's right-hand man. Has produced 22 All-Americans, 17 major league pitchers. Strike 3. So Cutts gives up the home run to Curlis. But Louisville's going to have a lead in the 9th, and a good one. It's been all Louisville today in the Nashville Regional. After 7.5, it's 8-3 Louisville here at the NCAA Baseball Regionals in Nashville, presented by Capital One. Wind picking up, but the rain has stopped. Don't forget about squeeze play. Matt Schick, Chris Button, Mike Rooney, Chris Burke. Getting all the coverage for you. ESPN Plus subscribers can access expanded coverage with squeeze play. For multi-game coverage, scan that QR code below. It's going to be a foul ball off the bat of Zion Rose. Here to start the Cardinals' 8th inning, leading 8-3. Winner of this game gets the winner of our next game between Vanderbilt and Wright State. And that 36 number, that represents the next win. Louisville comes into this one 35-21. So if they get that 36th win, Dan McDonnell's going to hand that shirt to whoever he deems the most worthy of it. You know, if my vote counts, I'd say Patrick Forbes.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Talk about player of the game, it's got to be Forbes. They usually have a Muhammad Ali jersey, who's from Louisville, and he said they did not bring it with them. But his talking point's a lot about boxing, about, all right, you're going to get hit. How quick can you get off the mat?
Colin Eaton came in last inning. Got the last 2 outs. Did give up an RBI single to Eddie King Jr. 3-1 to Rose. And now full count. Fly ball. Behind the bag at second. The shortstop calling everybody off. Cody Miller came a long way to the right side of second base to make that catch, and Rose is retired for the first out.
Miller called it early, and the winds just pushed it almost over the other side of second base, and he just stayed with it. Second baseman stayed out of his way. He kept calling it, and that's what your shortstop's supposed to do.
Here's Tate Davis, who's 0 for 3.
I was going to say, just take control of the defense in the infield.
The 0-1, and that misses for Eaton. East Tennessee State just lost one of their top starters for the rest of the season. So Bucs fans probably wondering who's going to start, game 2 of this regional for the Bucs. It won't be Jace Hyde. He's on the shelf with an elbow issue.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be Michael Harpster, but yeah, big loss, elbow injury late in the season.
Boy, that is hammered opposite field for Davis. This has a chance at the wall. Melendez can't make the play, and walking into second base with a stand-up double, Tag Davis. Melendez with a valiant effort out there, comes up empty, and a one-out base runner. Davis with a ringing double.
Gets a fastball out over. He's got power to all fields. Great effort by Melendez. You're just waiting for Tag Davis. 18 home runs on the year as a freshman. Funny thing is, he only had 6 in high school his senior year. Then he comes to Louisville, he has 18 in the ACC.
Yeah, it's tied for the ACC lead, and it's set a Louisville freshman record this year. Alex Pinellas, remember him? He had 14 as a true freshman in 2019. Chris Dominguez, he had 15 as a redshirt freshman in 07. That was the College World Series year. Another one popped up behind the bag at second. And again, Miller is going to handle it. So Kamayu Neighbors is out.
Tell you what, Cody Miller's making these look easy. The wind's up there, drifting, moving ball around, and he is rock solid at shortstop, drop stepping, getting back there, making those catches look easy.
And the switch hitting Alisea stays from the left-hand side, wraps it to second base. That is Gallagher, and that is the inning. So Tate Davis with a double, but he is stranded. Last chance for ETSU. They are down 5 heading to the 9th. Back in Nashville, Louisville 8, East Tennessee State 3, as the Bucs try to rally here in the 9th inning. Alongside Greg Olson, I'm Clay Matvick. This is the opening round game for these two teams. Winner is on to a game tomorrow against the winner of either Vanderbilt or Wright State. Loser is back here facing elimination tomorrow. Brennan Cutts trying to pick up his first save of the year. He's going to face Axel Melendez to start the 9th. Montesano and Yakubinas scheduled to hit following him. Melendez 0 for 3 with a strikeout.
You're probably going to see the Buccaneers taking a strike, trying to find a way to get deep into counts, get some runners on base. You got a 5-run deficit. You got to get some errors. You got to get some walks. You got to get some hits. Got to find some things to string it together. Cuts quickly, 0-2 on Melendez. Cutts has been really good. Good fastball location, mixed in more changeups than anything else.
17 strikeouts today by Bucs hitters. Forbes had 13 of them before leaving. 1-2 from Cutts, lash foul. There's Patrick Forbes in line for win number 3 on the year. This is pounded to center. Moore walks back and makes the catch. So Melendez is out, number 1 of the 9th. Patrick Forbes hasn't won a ball game since March the 7th. Looks in pretty good shape to win this one today. He's our Capital One rewarding performer.
Yeah, just great stuff. You see why he's a top draft prospect. Fastball touch 97. Great late life. Changeup, slider were really good. Just a combination of pounding the zone with great stuff.
So my vote did count.
Yeah.
Somebody heard me.
Somebody listened to you. I'm really happy for you because I knew you probably went going into the day. Nobody was going to listen to anything I said.
Lenny Montesano came in as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning and struck out. Second team all SoCon. Trying to get aboard and spark something late for the Buccaneers.
This is the first guy Cutts faced in the 7th inning. And it was fastball strike 1, fastball strike 2, fastball out of the zone, strike 3. I'm not sure what Montesano's sitting on right now, but Cutts just pounding the fastballs away and down.
And now ETSU is down to its last out.
Fastball down, just here it is. Cutts challenging late life on that fastball, gives it a little explosion. And ETSU just unable to pick it up.
Yakubinas, the only Buck who has not struck out today.
They keep hitting him.
Yeah, he's been hit by 2 pitches. Also flew out, and he is likely going to fly out here. Good ball game for Louisville here in game 1 of the Nashville Regional. Patrick Forbes, his 3rd win of the year. Brennan Cutts, a 3-inning save, his 1st of the year. Saw some offense from the Cardinals. They have won 12 straight regional openers now, the longest active streak in the country in Division I.
The offense showed just enough, 9 hits, but it was really all about the pitching and Forbes and Cutts shutting down this powerful offense of ETSU and giving this Louisville offense a chance to get started in the 3rd inning, and they got started well.
18 total strikeouts for Forbes and Cutts. So Louisville moves on to the winner's bracket game tomorrow night. It'll either be Vanderbilt or Wright State, the opponent for the Cardinals, after this 8-3 victory. One ball game down. Several more to go here in the Nashville Regional. Cardinals win it 8-3. For Greg Olson, I'm Clay Matvick. We say so long for now from Hawkins Field in Nashville.